Hey friends, welcome back to a new video all about Garten of Banban 8. Today we're talking about something that's causing a bit of worry in the community. And yes, I'm talking about two major concerns fans are having right now. Because while the hype for this new chapter is absolutely through the roof, there's also, well, a bit of fear. Like and subscribe please. The quality of Garten of Banban 8 is going to be way better than the previous chapters. Just look at the trailers, the screenshots, the new environments and character models. The difference is obvious right away. But this improvement is raising two very important questions that we're going to break down together today. The first issue is something people are writing, in particular in the comment sections of my videos. What if the game is too heavy for low-end PCs? Okay, that's a very valid concern. Not everyone has a high-end graphics card or a powerful gaming rig. A lot of fans have played the series on laptops or older PCs, and they're worried this new chapter could bring lag, frame drops, or even crashes. Some people fear they won't even be able to launch the game. But that's not all. The second big concern is the price. With this major boost in graphics and what looks like a much more ambitious game, a lot of people are starting to wonder, what if the price goes up too? If the quality keeps increasing, some fans think we could see a higher price tag, maybe even one that puts the game out of reach for those hoping for a cheap Chapter 8. So today we're going to talk about these two big concerns. Will low-end PCs be able to handle it? And how much will Garten of Banban 8 actually cost? Stick with me until the end because we've got a lot to cover and some really interesting comments from the developers too. And before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video to support my work, and make sure you don't miss any future updates, secrets or theories about Garten of Banban 8. There are new leaks and crazy discoveries every day. And here we talk about all of them together like a real squad. Let's get into it because there's a lot to uncover. Alright. Let's start by talking about the first big concern that's making a lot of players nervous. Will Garten of Banban 8 be too heavy for low-end PCs? This question is everywhere and I totally understand why. Because if you've seen even just one of the teasers or the official screenshots, it's impossible not to notice the huge jump in quality. The graphics are way more detailed, the lighting looks more realistic, the 3D models of the characters have improved a lot, and the animations look much smoother and more polished than in the previous chapters. So of course many people are thinking, wait a minute, if the game looks this advanced now, will it still run on my old laptop? And this is where the real concern comes in. Not everyone has a gaming PC or a high-end graphics card. Up until now, many players were able to enjoy the game even on modest machines, but now they're worried that might change. In fact, with all these visual improvements, it's possible that Garten of Banban 8 will have higher minimum system requirements compared to the earlier chapters. We're not just talking about texture resolution here, we're talking lighting effects, real-time animations, and maybe even larger and more complex environments. And all of this, of course, could require more processing power. But don't worry, because I have some good news to share with you. And now, here comes the good news. So let's analyze it. Yes, it's true that Garten of Banban 8 will have better graphics, more complex 3D models, and smoother animations. But, despite all of that, the official minimum requirements for now are exactly the same as Chapter 7. That's right, if we compare the Steam page of Chapter 8 with the one from the previous chapter, we can clearly see that the minimum requirements haven't changed at all. And what does that mean? It means that despite all the improvements, the Euphoric brothers are doing a great job with optimization. They're trying to keep the game accessible for everyone, even for those who don't have a powerful PC. Of course, let's be honest, the requirements could still change before the official release. But the fact that, even after publicly announcing all these improvements, the minimum requirements haven't been updated is a very good sign. It shows that the developers are most likely working hard to make Garten of Banban 8 playable even on modest setups, just like the previous chapters. And that's not all, because in the next part I'll show you even more interesting info about this topic. So let's go to the next part. There are two more information that help us understand one very important thing. Garten of Banban 8 will surely be more accessible than many people fear. The first great news is that, just like in the previous chapters, in Garten of Banban 8 we'll still have the option to adjust the graphics settings. In the game's settings menu, we can choose between different quality levels to match the performance of our PC. This means that if you're using an older PC, you'll still be able to enjoy the game by lowering the graphics quality. It's a key feature and it's always been there, so we can totally expect it to be there again this time. And now here's the second good piece of news, maybe even more important. The Euphoric brothers had already stated a long time ago that, starting from Chapter 3, they began working seriously on optimization. And if you've played the whole series, you know exactly what I mean. Every chapter has been more and more smooth, even in more complex scenes, with bigger environments, more characters, and more action. So this isn't just about prettier graphics, it's about efficiency, lighter performance load, and smoother gameplay. And that makes us believe that Garten of Banban 8 will follow that same path. Actually, it's almost certain that there's going to be a lot of work behind the scenes to make the game run well and smoothly, even on older computers. So yes, I understand the concern. But between the unchanged minimum requirements, customizable graphic settings, and a dev team that's been optimizing for years, we can absolutely stay optimistic. And now it's time to move on to the second major concern, the price. Now let's talk about another topic that many fans are discussing, the price of Garten of Banban 8. As we have seen, this new chapter will bring many improvements, especially in graphics and overall development, so it's natural to think that with all these upgrades the price could increase compared to previous chapters. However, unfortunately, I don't have either good or bad news for you at the moment. The Euphoric brothers have not yet revealed the official price, and they will probably do so only when the game is released. It will all depend on what the developers decide, whether they want to keep the current price or raise it a bit to support all the extra work done on the game. But let's remember one important thing, even if the price goes up a little, we will have in our hands a game that is clearly better, more polished, and probably more fun. So, in the end, we will enjoy a superior gaming experience, and that could be worth a small increase. That said, we still have no certainties. The price might also stay exactly the same as the previous chapters. One factor to consider is also the fact that the first game in the series, the famous Chapter 0, was completely free. This could somehow influence the pricing strategy for Chapter 8, maybe pushing to keep the cost accessible to everyone. In short, on this point, we just have to wait for more official updates. Let's now do a quick recap of everything we covered in this video. We talked about the two main concerns surrounding Garten of Banban 8. The first one is the risk that the game might be too heavy for lower-end PCs. And the second one is the possibility of a price increase compared to previous chapters. As for the performance issue, here's what we found out. The minimum requirements for Chapter 8 are the same as for Chapter 7, no increase in system demands so far. The game will still include graphic settings options, so players can adjust the visuals to match their PC's power. The Euphoric brothers have been working on optimization since Chapter 3, and each new chapter has been smoother and better performing, even in more complex scenes. So it's very likely Chapter 8 will be well optimized too. Then we talked about the price topic, and here's what we said. There's still no official announcement about the price, so nothing has been confirmed yet. It could go up, but if that happens, we'll still be getting a much more polished, fun, and visually impressive game. But the price might also stay the same. Don't forget that Chapter 0 was completely free, and that could influence their pricing decision for Chapter 8. In conclusion, yes, the concerns are understandable, but there are also plenty of reasons to stay positive and excited. Stay tuned for the next big news and information. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.